Hi, everybody. I'm Stacy.
And I'm her daughter, Mickey.
And welcome to KiddieNomics. Yay! Another Friday edition of Kids Financial Literacy with KiddieNomics. And we have an uber special guest today. But before I introduce you to our expert today, let's do what we always do. I'm going to share my screen. Let me share. 1 second. Okay, so welcome to KiddieNomics. So, first of all, as usual, we'd like to thank all the new kiddies that have registered for KiddieNomics, right? Today, I've seen a whole bunch of new signups, so thank you so much for joining. We'd also always like to thank all the returning kiddies that have joined us week after week on KiddieNomics. You guys have been phenomenal, and on this platform, we encourage active participation, right? We want you to answer those questions. So how do you do that? So we can't see or hear you, but we can read it in the chat box. So your chat box down below, please type any of your questions or your answers to questions that our experts may ask in the chat box. If you have a question and you raise your hand, no problem. I'll see the hand raised, but I'll tell you, please type the question out in the chat box so that we can help get that question answered for you. And as always, we encourage safety on the platform. We did go through online money safety, right? A couple of weeks ago with Miss Hadriana, which was amazing. And we learned not to share any personal information, right? So we know that, kids, you guys see names and you've seen them week after week, but please do not share any personal information. Just keep the chat clear with answering questions. And I see that you guys talk back and forth. That's okay sometimes, but please do not ever give out any personal information, right? We want to keep you protected, right? Yeah. Right? Yes. Kids. That's right. That's right. So we always like to thank everybody that has been keeping us safe and healthy throughout this time, because we super duper appreciate you, right?
And the parents who keep us entertained.
And the parents that have been keeping all the kiddies entertained. But everybody's back to school now, or the majority of kids are back to school. So this is Mickey's first week of school, online learning. That's been an interesting transition. So we hope everybody has been enjoying their new school year thus far. And if you haven't started yet, I know a couple of school boards are starting next week. So we wish you the best of luck for the new school year, right? Mm-hmm. So what is KiddieNomics? What is KiddieNomics? KiddieNomics is here to help kids ages 8+ to develop a healthy relationship towards financial literacy, helping to start kids off on the right path to have a successful financial future, right? We want you to be able to do and be whatever it is that you want to be. And we're going to encourage whatever that is that you guys want to be. And we just want to make sure that finances is not something that's going to hold you back from accomplishing your dream. So as long as you have these skills, it doesn't matter what country you live in. It doesn't matter how much money you have or don't have. Everybody needs financial literacy skills, okay? So that's what we're here for, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. So we want to introduce our uber special guest today, because we're going to talk about a positive mindset towards money, right? Because we believe how you think about money is how you're going to handle your money. Actually, when you get money, and how you think about it is going to be how you're going to spend it, and how you're going to maybe save it. And you got to have that positive mindset. So we have the incredible Uchechi Uchechi, I know, I tried. Help me.
Ezurike-Bosse.
That's it. I'm so sorry. I didn't butcher it. I'm so sorry. She's a business and life strategist. So she's an international speaker, author, publisher, and wholesale expert, helping passion-driven entrepreneurs increase wealth, confidence, and impact and freedom. That sounds amazing, right? She's been featured on Rogers TV, Hay House Radio, the Huffington Post, Mompreneur, and various online publications. She's a multi-passionate entrepreneur and founder of My Empowered Living. And okay,
Bossurike.
Bossurike. So sorry.
I
Don't
love
kill
it.
me. Author of From Aspiration to Fulfillment, Bridging the Gap from Where You Are to Where You Want to Be, which is available at all major online booksellers and Chapters-Indigo stores across the country. She's also the author of Business Success Blueprint, a step-by-step process to creating a profitable business you love, and the creator of the Dream Life Designer Planners, a goal-setting planner system that's been used by over 3,000 users across North America, Europe, and Africa. Oh my gosh. Uchi proudly serves on the board of directors for the BACD. We love the BACD, which is the Business Advisory Center, Durham. She's also the former host and co-producer for Empowered Living in Durham region, which aired on Rogers TV. Can she do anything more? Like, this is amazing. Really? She's been dubbed the Dream Whisperer by clients and is passionate about educating and empowering entrepreneurs to dream bigger and have the confidence and know-how to make their dreams a reality. Wow! So give a big round of applause to Ms. Uche. We're gonna stop sharing screens. And don't kill me.
No worries, I love it. I'm going to now share my screen. Let me know if everybody can see that okay. Are you all able to see it? Let's start. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Perfect. All right.
And we love the colors. They're like our KiddieNomics
I know.
colors.
I saw it. I'm like, I gotta like.
We love it.
So perfect. Okay, I can't see the chat, so I guess I'll let you. You can let me know in the chat.
Yes. So I'll monitor the chat for you.
Perfect.
The kids are just talking. It's okay.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so thank you for that introduction, and I'm so excited to be here with everyone here. And so today's topic is positive mindset for kids. And it's funny enough where, you know, Stacy was talking about all these things that I've created and the stuff that I've done, whether it's the TV show, whether it's the books, whether it's the planners. And, you know, there's a lot of work that goes into it. And there's been a lot of setbacks as I was doing my work. But one of the biggest thing that when I get asked, how are you able to accomplish all these things? It really is about what goes into my head, right? It is about my mindset. It is about how things are going to happen, and whether it's about money, because I invest a lot of money into my business to produce my planners, you know, printing books, helping people become published. And I also have my assistant that I work with. But around this, my relationship, my thought around money, and the way I really pay attention to what's happening and what my focus is, really helps me to be able to execute and do everything that I want. So that's for my business, but even for everybody here, you can do that as well. So I just want to go quickly I'm going to go through with you today, which if you've registered, you probably have seen it quickly, but what is having a positive mindset? Why is it so important? And, you know, how do our thoughts create a reality? Because we always talk about, oh, it's so important and you need to think positive thought, but why? And how does that have an impact on what we get in our life? So whether it's about school, whether it's about money, whether it's about our relationship, and even like about our health and wellness, right? How does that really impact the way we live our lives and the reality that we experience? So we're going to go through that today as well. And then we're going to talk about what is wealth from within. And this is probably one of my favorite topics to talk about, because the thing about money and the way we receive money and the way we're able to get more money, a lot of it, it's not about what we do. I'm going to tell you what that thing is. It's not about what we do. And I'm going to see at the end if you're going to tell me if you can answer what it's about. So it's not about what you do, what it's going to be about. And we're going to look at that answer when we get to that part.
Okay.
And Stacey remind me about that too. And then I'm going to share some techniques that I actually share with my clients, techniques that I use myself, and even for my kids. There's a lot of things that I start to share with them earlier on. So that way I can help them set a good solid foundation to help them with the money thought patterns. And even as they start to move forward and dealing with school, and we all know 2020, lots on the go, and Corona, being in school, not out of school, online learning. And we all know how the hectic that was for a lot of people and a lot of families. But how can we start to deal with all that stresses? So I'm going to share some techniques that has helped me, that helps a lot of people to keep that mindset at a level that helps them bring in what they want to achieve. So I'm going to dig right in. So the first one, what is having a positive mindset? Can anybody just put on the chat box, what is your thoughts about positive mindset? I would love to hear some people make some comments in the box.
So what's what does having a positive mindset mean? What does that mean?
It means that like you're like confident and you believe in yourself.
Oh, so Mickey says to have confidence and you believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what the kids say online. Olivia says, I don't know. That's good, Olivia, because we're gonna cover it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Suli says, looking on the bright side of stuff. That's a good one, right? The glass is always half full, not half empty.
Absolutely.
Egypt says, having positive thoughts about your goals. Good one.
Love that.
Courtney says, how you look at and spend your money. That's good, Courtney. I love that. I love that.
Perfect. I love it. So a lot of you, most of you guys said really are pretty much bang on, right? So it's really about the attitude of someone who expects good and desired results and outcomes. So, and I want you to pay attention to the whole attitude. It's about your personality. And it's this one about expecting something good and something desired. Just like Stacy said about, or somebody made a comment about the half, the glass half full or half empty. What are your thoughts? What are your expectations, right? And even for yourself, even the school year that just started, what are your expectations? Do you think, oh my God, okay, I'm not really liking and feeling this teacher. Oh my goodness, it's going to be a bad year. Or I'm not really sure about this teacher. But it could be about, wow, I would love to see an opportunity to see what I can learn from this teacher. And also love to see what, it's a real bit weird. We have to wear a mask, but that's kind of cool. Like, how can I, what's your thought pattern around it? And the beautiful thing I want you to pay attention to is about the whole thing about your mindset. It's about the expectation, and then for it to be focused on something desirable, right? We've all seen people who worry. Something happens. Where do they go? They go to the what could go wrong, or something goes wrong and they don't look to see a better solution. So the whole thing about having a positive mindset, it's really focused on thinking about your expectations, but the expectations being good and something that you desire, and the outcome to be something that you actually want it to be. So I don't know if anyone has some questions, but it's this space about positive mindset, the whole expecting something good to happen, right? And we can have a positive mindset in any situation, whether it's something that is uncomfortable, something that I'm not sure about, but what is our thought pattern around that? Are we going to choose for it to be positive or worry and be in a negative place? So I want to move on to why is it important, right? We always hear about, yes, it's really good to be positive and stay positive. Why is it important? So I would say, first off, having a positive mindset helps you to create a desired outcome. Whatever you expect, you are going to have the fulfillment of it. So if you want a desirable outcome, start to expect it and have the same thought pattern and personality around what you want to happen. And then second to that is, it actually improves your better health and well-being, right? So when you expect things to happen and you're actually feeling good, you actually create chemicals in your body that helps you keep healthy. So we all know that when we get sick and, sometimes people get diseases, that is a lot of stress. We put stress in our body, we're worrying. Stress and worry causes our body to be at a dis-ease, right? When you say dis-ease, dis and ease, your body is not at ease. You're not at a place of peace and you're worrying, right? So you tighten up. When you have a positive disposition or a positive frame of mind, it's better for your body, for your health, for your well-being. So that's really a great way to really start to think about, how can I be more positive? It really does help with your health and wellness. And as well, it helps you to cope better with life's challenges. We all know, 2020, we've seen it a lot, right? There's been a lot of things that whether everybody has been faced with, but you're able to cope better with it when you have a positive mindset. And so when challenges happen, when we stay in that challenge, in the negative frame of mind and just worry, what happens is we cannot allow ourselves to stop and rise above the issue and the problems. And when we don't rise above it, we're not able to see solution. But when we start to have a different mindset and think differently and have different thoughts around it, we are able to come up with better solutions that are actually able to help solve the problem that we have in the first place. But without a positive mindset, the awareness of the solution, we will not come into our awareness because we're too busy holding on to and thinking about the negative thoughts. And of course, positive people are just fun to be around, right? How many people do you want to hang around with? And it's like, how's it going? Oh my goodness, you'll never believe what happened to me today, and blah, blah, blah. And it's not like you don't confide in your friends about what happened, and that's fine. But what if it's somebody where every day in and day out, they're complaining, and you have something exciting to share, and instead of them joining with you and being excited with you, they're just pouring rain on what you just shared. That's no fun to be around, right? So it's really important to have that positive frame of mind, because it is, you become more enjoyable for people to be around. And of course, number one, it impacts all areas of your life. Your friends, your family, what we talked about, your health and wellness, because when you're positive, it actually helps produce good feeling chemicals that's good for your body versus the bad feeling chemicals that helps that really causes sickness. And also too, it helps you get better results in your life because you're expecting it. So it's a really great thing to have for all areas of your life. And so now I want to get into, okay, yeah, this is what we all, oh yeah, we have a question?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Were you going to ask a question in the next?
No. I'm gonna.
Awesome. So let's see, hear from the kids and see, what do you think having a positive, like, why is it important to have a positive mindset, right? So for example, like with your sports. So let me tell you a little story. When Mickey started first playing basketball, right? She wasn't that good at basketball. And she used to like, and Mickey played on a team with all boys. So she was the only girl on the team. Has that ever happened to anybody else where you felt like you were the only one? And so she would go to practice and she would say, "Oh my gosh, mommy, I'm so horrible. And none of the kids would pass me the ball." Sorry, none of the kids would pass me the ball and I'm not getting it in. And we talked about that, right? We talked about you have to practice harder. And if you think that you're not going to be good at something, then that's what's going to happen, right? And then what happened by the end of your season?
And then after I started to play good and I started to get points for my team, and I wasn't the only girl, and I was actually the first girl in my basketball team, and I became the star.
She became the star. And so that's what having a positive mindset helps you do. So things that you want to achieve, you got to think positively to achieve them. Has that ever happened to anybody else on the chat? Let me know. Has that ever happened where you thought one way, but then if you started to think positively, it ended very good for you? Has that ever happened? Raise your hand. Yes, from Joel. Egypt says yes, about writing stories and cooking. Good for you. So you're a really good cook now? That's amazing. You're a chef.
I love it.
Francesco says yes. Paulette says same. Good job. Renata says yes. Good job. Good job. So it's important, right, to have a positive mindset, because if you think positively, the better the outcome for you, right? Awesome. Thank you, Miss Uchi.
Sounds good. Okay, so now, how does that thoughts create a reality? Because we all talk about, okay, the positive mindset, having the positive mindset, but how does it actually affect what we experience, right? And so I want to just go through this a bit quickly with you right now. So let's think about it, right? So our thoughts, so when you have positive mindset, it's really about based on the thoughts that you have, right? What you're thinking. So it could be just like, she had where, I'm not very good. I don't want to play. I'm the only girl. And so what is the thought around it? And so when Stacy said to her, start to think positive thoughts, she started to think differently, because what's important to recognize is our thoughts is going to influence the way we feel. So if you're ever thinking to yourself, if you ever just find yourself feeling bad for whatever reason, understand that you're feeling bad because you're thinking bad thoughts. Just like when I'm feeling good, It's because I'm thinking good thoughts. So if you're ever feeling bad or you find yourself in a way where I'm feeling a certain way, understand that for you to shift from feeling bad, I now have to start to think better thoughts, because the way you think directly influences the way you feel. And also the way you feel is going to impact the way you act or behave, right? And I always said is where, people behave and act appropriately to the way they feel, right? Sometimes we hear about, sometimes you see the bully, or sometimes people who are angry, they act out because oftentimes they don't feel good about themselves, right? They don't feel good about themselves. And because they don't feel good about themselves, it's the thinking and the image that they have about themselves that's not good. And so that way, that's the way they're acting. So everybody acts appropriately to the way they feel. And so when you act a certain way and you behave a certain way, you're going to get consequences. It's going to impact the way you experience things, and that becomes your reality, right? So if you are experiencing something that you don't want, whether you're not having a lot of money, well, maybe you're acting, maybe you're overspending. Okay, so if I'm overspending, what's my feeling around it? Oh, there's that lack, or I feel like I'm not good enough, so I have to buy certain things. So because you're feeling that way, we're going back to, it's the thought. So if you want to change anything of your outcome, the number one thing is about your thinking. And that's why positive mindset is so important. And that's why we always say, this is the way it influences it. And so what happens is, as you get your experiences, as you get certain consequences and outcomes, because you have that, all of a sudden you start thinking the thoughts that support it, and the loop goes over and over again. So to change the outside environment, to change your experience, you really need to pay attention to the way you're thinking, because again, your thoughts affects the way you feel. And when you feel a certain way, you're going to start to behave and act a certain way. And we all know when you act a certain way, there are consequences. And then you get that consequence, all of a sudden somebody scolds you and you're upset. And then somebody scolds you and then you're like, oh, you see, I told you, blah, blah, blah. And then the thinking, and then the cycle goes over. This is how our thoughts and our mindset impacts our reality and the way we experience, because it all begins with your thinking. So if you want to change the way you want to feel, the way you feel, go back to your thinking. If you want to change the way you're acting, okay, how am I feeling? Okay, go back to your thinking. And if you want to change your outcomes and your reality, it starts with your thinking. Okay? This is an explanation of, this is why anything you have, whether it's money, whether it's something, like let's say she would have stayed on where, if she never changed her thinking about playing basketball, you better believe she would not have been that star that she was at the end of the season, right? You don't think she would not have changed it. And she would have had a consequence where she didn't play good. And then again, it would have validated her thought of, I'm not good enough.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And that's where you need to change it from your thought level. Not what you have to do, but it's the thought level that changes everything for you. And that is why she became a star. Trust me, she would not have had her thinking not changed, because her feeling and behavior would not have changed. All right? Okay. So I want to jump. Oh, yes. Question.
Sorry, we're just gonna go into the chat. So Joel said, it happened to me when I was playing soccer. See, that's good, Joel. Did you think you weren't a good soccer player, and then you started thinking positively, and then you became a really good soccer player? That's amazing. Olivia says, okay. Renata says, I made a book. That's amazing. That's awesome.
You got to put that book on Amazon, girl. You got to put that book on Amazon. You can easily do that.
It says, do you think I could also write rewards after experiences and or consequences? I'm taking notes. Oh, that's a good question.
Absolutely. Because you know what? Because when you act a certain way and you get the consequences, yeah, it's going to be whether it's a reward or punishment. Because again, let's say you're that bully where, because you're feeling bad and you act in a bad way, what is that experience and consequences that you're going to get? It's going to be a negative one. Just like the consequence and the rewards that she got from changing her thought, her reward was being a star in her basketball team, because it changed there. So yeah, it's right after it, or it's all in the same, because your experience and consequences, it's also going to be a reward or a punishment, depending on which way you're thinking, right? If it's negative, then it's going to be that not punishment, I don't think we use, but reward would be if it's more positive. All right.
Perfect. Egypt says, all righty. Joel says, yes. Good job. I think
Awesome.
everybody's following along. Is
Awesome.
everybody following along? Everybody's okay? Yeah? Okay.
Okay. So now I want to get into what is wealth from within. So wealth from within is really about creating wealth from internally, from the inside out.
Oh, sorry. Sorry,
Yeah.
Miss. Can we explain what wealth is?
Yeah. So wealth, it's all, so for me, my definition of wealth encompasses there's making sure that I have money in my account to be able to afford and buy not just my needs, but I also like my extra, like there's my luxuries. That for me, it's important to me. When I live my life and create the things that I did in my business and also my life, it's because I also want not just survival, right, guys? From my biggest belief is we're not just meant to survive, we are meant to thrive. And for me, thriving and wealth is about ensuring that I have the money, economic resources, I have the great relationship around me, whether it's with my kids and family and just my, my neighbors. It's also all about my health and wellness, right? For me, that is the number one thing for me. It's the health, right? The health of my kids, of my family, right? That for me, creating wealth and abundance. And so that is wealth, but abundance is where having it in a big way, not just have enough. No, it's about thriving, having more than enough. That is the biggest thing for me in my definition of what wealth is. So it goes beyond just the monetary paper. It goes beyond that for me. And that's really important for people to know because it helps you not to just focus on that piece of paper, right? It goes beyond that. And so wealth from within is really about creating it from the inside out. And so I want to talk about where I mentioned before, where it's people think about it's a lot about the doing. And so for me, creating wealth from within is it's really thinking about it from a different model. It's about the be, do, have model. And before I talk a little bit about that, I want to tell you the model that most people have right now. So the be, do, have model is how you create wealth and abundance from within. And so here's the challenge though. Most people work from the have, do, be model. And what I mean by this is where if I had more money, then I can do all these things and buy the things that feels good for me and that I want to do. And I can finally be happy, be successful, be wealthy, be abundant, right? And so, but the challenge is when you have something, having something is external to you. It's outside. So it's not wealth from within, that's wealth from the outside. And the truth is that is a backwards model that does not work. And the truth is you have to work from the be, do, have model. Who do you need to be in order to do the things you need to do to have the results? And yes, question?
Yes, sorry.
Yes.
So Egypt says, so wealth from within is like your thinking and ideas from your business, as in the way you make money using your thinking. That's what she's asking.
Yeah, so in terms of, so it's two ways. So you can say where, as in make, so you can say, so no, it's, that one's a little bit different. So it's not where I'm thinking about, okay, how can I make money in my business? Is it, can I, do I create my planners or do I work with my one-on-one clients? So that's just thinking outside. My wealth from within is really thinking about how does it feel to be wealthy? If I had all the money in the world, if I had all the wealth and success and the happiness, the longevity, what does that feel like? And I create that feeling state and think about that right now before the actual paper comes about. It's about feeling wealthy, feeling the results, the outcomes that you want. It's thinking about that and feeling it first before it comes about. Does that answer your question, Egypt? I'll wait for her answer. I can actually see her chat now.
Yeah, so she hasn't answered yet, but
okay. Yes, okay, perfect. Yes, I saw it. Yeah, so it's really about, the be, do, have, because the truth is, before you can have anything, you need to do something, right? You need to do something to have that result. But before you can do anything, you have to be it. So here's the thing. Had she been in a state where I'm not good enough for basketball, she would never have practiced. And she would never have practiced, she would never have had that result of being a star. So that's the same thing. And when we talk about money, sometimes people say, if I had more money, then I can do all these things. But the truth is, anything that you do, whether you're trying to bring money in, if you're worried about money, if you're feeling scared about money, it will not work and it will not last. Let's think about something. Does anybody know Mike Tyson, the boxer, right? Right. Does anybody know about Mike Tyson? So,
I don't know if you're gonna know who Mike Tyson is.
Tyson, yeah. You guys are too young. She knows Mike. My kids actually knows Mike Tyson. That's because they see my husband watching the old boxing thing.
Okay.
But the thing is with Mike, so Mike Tyson was a boxer who won like millions and millions of dollars, right? But Mike Tyson grew up poor. And so I don't know, was it 100 million that he had gotten, or more than that over his lifetime? But he was bankrupt because the way he saw himself was of people that was bankrupt. And also, let's take lottery winners. Did you know that about 80 to 90% of people who win the lottery, who win those mega $1 million, like 100 million, 2 million, 10 million, 80 to 90% of them go broke? What happened? They had wealth from the outside in. Somebody gave them money, but in their minds, in their thoughts, the way they saw themselves was still this poor person or people who needed money. So for every 10 people who won $1 million, only about one remained a millionaire. 9 of them went broke. Why? Because nothing changed here. Yes.
Yeah, that also happens to athletes, right? So
yeah,
that most athletes, so basketball stars, that once they retire after 3 years, they go broke.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know how to handle all of that money that they made, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't want that to happen to you guys.
No, we don't. No.
Financial literacy from a very young age. So
yeah.
when you become uber wealthy, you guys will all know what to do with your money, right?
Yeah. And it's going to stick and it's going to last. You guys are going to be long-term millionaires. You guys, it's going to last for you guys. That's what we want. And did you guys know that the way you start to think about money, before you reach, because a lot of you guys now are 8, before you reach 8 or even 10, 12, 10, 13 years old, your identity around money right now, it's going to form your identity around money. So right now, if you're looking all around you and you keep thinking, oh my goodness, I never have enough, or I wish I can buy this new shoes or this new backpack, and oh my God, there's never enough and never enough. And that's what the thought and that you have around you, or my family is not the type of family to be wealthy. That's not who we are. Do you know that if that goes on and on in your head, that forms your identity as an adult? All of a sudden, if you think there's never enough, you might make great money after university or during university. It will not stick. It will not stick because you know what? Your whole thought growing up was all about this is it. And so it starts to form your identity around money. And so this is why it's important choosing, it's about choosing now how you want to feel and relate around money. So Wealth from Within is really about choosing how you want to feel and relate with money. And so for me, money is a tool. For the longest time, I remember when I, was always like, oh my God, it was something that I always had to have. But now it is a tool, a way to serve. I know for me, the more money I have in my bank account, it's because I'm helping more people in my business. And I want to relate to money in the sense of money piles up for me. Whatever I need always comes to me. I always make the amount of money that I want. I start to change my mind, my identity, and my mindset around going from, oh, there's never enough, because I grew up like that, right? My mom, she had 3 girls. It was just her. She worked 3 jobs. My mom worked 3 jobs to make ends meet. And what I learned around that is where I had to struggle. Money, you have to hustle and work really, really hard and work 5 jobs and not have time for your family in order to just break even and just make ends meet. And I had to learn to change that because, like I said, growing up, that's what I saw. And I had to change that story for myself that yes, I can make a lot of money. Yes, I can provide a lot for my family. And I don't have to work 3, 8, 10 jobs to do it, right? I had to change that story. How do you change the story? You change the story you change the story about the way you think. Because if I think things enough, it becomes a story that becomes my beliefs. And my beliefs will be able to impact the results that I have around me. And so another thing with Wealth from Within is really, it's about feeling wealthy to attract wealth. Because here's the thing, you see people who are poor or they're worry. You're just focused on worry. Let's go back to what we learned, that thing about if I'm worrying, I'm thinking worry thoughts. I'm going to feel badly. When I feel badly, I'm going to make bad choices and behave badly. And then the consequence and the experience, right? So we need to start to change. We need to start to change the way we feel and think about money. And so lastly is working from alignment, right? So when you want to people, a lot of the times I want to create a job. Wealth from within is not about chasing to want to be a certain profession because about the money, it's about feeling good. And so I want to check in right now because I talked a little bit in the beginning that says about the money and wealth from within. It's not about the doing. Who quickly, the first one to say, what is it about? How do we attract more money from within? So it's not about what you're going to do. It's about what?
What gives it? So how do you attract money?
So if it's not focused on the way if it's not focused on what you're doing, what is it? Let's look at the model. That will help you.
Here's the model again.
So it's not about what you're doing, it's about what?
This is the model. So let me see. Be, do, have.
So what's the first thing? What do you need to do? So it's not your do.
Focus on your goals. That's what Egypt says.
Okay, that's good. That's along the line. So it's not about the way I'm doing, what it's about.
Believe in yourself.
Yeah, but if it's not the do, what's the first model? So I have an X in have to be. What's the word that starts the first box?
Be.
Yes. So it's about who, so it's about who you're being. So you have to feel and be wealthy first. Okay, so now I want to jump right into some techniques quickly that we can do to help you. So there's certain techniques that can help you start to change your thoughts around money and help you change your mindset. So before I get into this, I'm going to actually be giving away, I'm going to give away this planner. There's a journal I'm going to give away to whoever answers this. I also have a couple of planners. There's a couple of ones. So there is one of the first techniques. Before I get to that, can anybody quickly, the first one that tells me, who is this person? Can anybody recognize this person? You guys might be a little bit too young. Who's this person? And to give you a clue.
You picked a hard one.
I know. To give you a clue, he was a coach of basketball, of two basketball teams that won NBA champions.
Second online.
Phil, yes, she got it. Phil, that's right. Yeah.
I was going to say, not you, Phil.
Suli says, I still don't know.
Yeah, so Phil Jackson. So this guy's Phil. So this is Phil Jackson. So he coached Michael Jordan. And the late Kobe Bryant. And this man won 11 rings, 11 NBA championship. First with the Bulls, Chicago Bulls with Jordan. He coached Jordan. And then he coached Kobe Bryant in LA Lakers, where they won 11 championship. So he introduced each of his team to an important technique that allowed them to give them the edge in their basketball playing. Can anybody, I'm going to give 30 seconds because I want to jump right in. I'm not sure if anybody's going to know what it is, but does anybody know the technique that he introduced to his players that gave them a competitive edge in basketball?
Egypt says positive
mindset, visualization. Ooh, those are pretty good. Okay.
Keep your head in the game.
Yes, but he was able to do that through introducing them to meditation.
Ryan says, oh, triangle offense.
No, right? It's not even that. And even the LeBron James, there was an interview that LeBron James had where he gets shocked. Everybody always asks him about, how did he become such a top basketball player? What is his physical, his workout routine? What is his nutrition? And he's like, nobody ever asked me the most important piece, my meditation, my mindset. And he was introduced to meditation because one time when he won his first championship, the coach called a timeout and all the crowds were against him. He, in that 20 seconds, tuned in, went through what meditation did for him and was able to focus and was able in that 20 seconds during that timeout, focus on the game, cut out all the noise of the fans and focus on his game. So meditation is a great tool to use to help you cultivate a wealth and a positive mindset. It helps with so many things. With creativity, helping with creativity, manage stress, peace, stability, focus, right? That was one of the things that basketball players use because it's focus. And so let's say with money, if you feel that you're worried all the time around money, meditation allows you to just stop that noise, to go within, stop, and to be able to focus on, okay, what is it that I want to think about? How do I want to feel? So somebody in like the NBA, the 11 rings, 11, he is the most winning coach in the NBA. Michael Jordan used it. Late Kobe Bryant used this. LeBron James, arguably the best player in the NBA at this moment, who's about to win another NBA championship, uses meditation to help him, give him an edge. Not his workout. I mean, his workout routines are important, but mental, and let's be honest, for anybody, Pascal, I remember thinking to myself, Pascal really needs to do more meditation to focus on the performance that he had this postseason. Sorry if you're watching this, but I love Pascal. Go Spicy P. And so meditation is one. The other tool that is so important, this is actually a tool that I give my clients to do, is journaling and visualization. So journaling helps you to reprogram your mind, right? Remember when I talked about if you're going to think poor thoughts, if you see yourself, kind of like those lottery winners still saw themselves as being broke, this is why I'm going to give one of you away. You guys, somebody's going to get a journal in here. We're going to go back and see who answered those correctly. You're going to get that journal. It's really about changing who you're being, reprogramming your mind. So journaling does that. Visualization, basketball people do all the time. I remember when I played basketball at Ryerson and in high school, I just laid down and I saw myself doing free throws over and over again. And it's the same thing because your body doesn't know if you're doing it here. It's going to remember. It's going to remember that you're doing it and even do it even more. So journaling and visualization, it's a way to start to change your mind to be more positive, because if you write the positive things, and journaling is all about writing the positive things that you want to happen, so that way you can start to believe it. You can start to change the story. You can start to change the way you're thinking about yourself to be more positive. So I can write it all. I can actually send them the thing too if they want. And then the other thing another technique I want to share with you, it's something that my own coach shared with me, and it's something called the master thought formula. So I know sometimes where something could happen and you're like, or, maybe one of your parents gets a bill, or somebody says, oh, I want to buy this thing, and your mom or dad says, we can't afford it. And then you start to feel bad, and then it's hard to stop your negative thinking. So there is this master thought formula, and it's 4 parts. And so it's really just saying, my thoughts are not real, because it's not, right? Sometimes your thoughts are based on a story, right? So my thought, just recognizing the first step, my thoughts are not real. What is real is your ability to think, meaning that you think, right? You're not your thoughts. I am the thinker of my thoughts. So you're not your thoughts, you think it. And the beautiful thing about it is because you're the thinker of your thoughts, that means you have power over your thoughts. Don't let them run you, you run them. You are powerful. So that 3rd step is really helping you recognize that you are the thinker of your thoughts. And the 4th thing with this formula is just move your attention. You can move your attention to something positive. You can move your attention to just something that's just very generic. And it's just about moving your thoughts to something else. So this is where I wanted you guys to show this, where if there's something that's going on and you're really having a hard time shifting your thoughts and you're feeling negative, remember this formula. It's not real, right? Don't worry about it. Even what you're thinking that may happen, you're worried, most likely won't happen anyways. But what's real is the ability of you to think. You have power over your thoughts, and just a matter of shifting your attention. And so the last tools, oh yeah?
Sorry, I had a really great comment from Sue Lee in the chat.
Yeah.
Thoughts are like dreams during the day, in the daytime. And I was like, that
absolutely. Boom. She's getting, I know I didn't ask a question, put her name. She's getting both a journal and a planner. She can tell me.
Oh, look at that, Sue.
She's getting 2. She's getting 2. She's getting planner and a journal. This week, boom, you are getting 2, girl. So I love that. Love that.
Mind blowing. I love that one.
It's so true. Yeah, because it is. And so and it's the same thing as when people worry is actually creating the very thing that you don't want to happen. But what do? we start to focus, because anything we focus on, anything we put our attention on, expands, gets bigger. So let's put our focus, let's expand the things that we want. That's what this work is about. And so finally, the last tool I want to share, it's about affirmations. I love affirmations, and it's so important. And really, affirmations are just mantras or just positive thoughts or beliefs that you want to be true. And so when you think about affirmations, it's really about saying some affirmations that you want to happen. And one of the things that it's important to do is when you start to write affirmations, state it in the present tense. So what I mean by this is just saying, I will be rich. I will have good grades. I will be healthy. When you say will, you're telling your mind, yourself, that you don't have it now because it's will. And what also happens is you keep pushing it in the future. I am rich. I am successful. I am. So you should say it in the present tense as if it's happening now, because your mind doesn't know if it's now or just you're thinking about it. You want it to buy into that belief. So state it in the present tense. And then use positive wording. And what I mean by this, where I don't want to be poor, or I don't want to be sick. Well, now what you're doing is you're saying that's a negative word. So instead of saying I don't want to be poor, I am rich. I wish to be rich, right? So don't say that negative word, because again, the words you say, the thoughts that you have makes an impression in your mind. So when you say I don't want to be sick, your mind's thinking sick, 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 sick. So take out the negative word and use positive words when you're saying your affirmation, and feel it, right? Because like we talked about, your feelings will affect the way you behave. And the feeling is like almost like a magnet that will draw opportunities, people to you. This is a powerful practice that my clients do. All of a sudden, I get them to feel like, what would it feel like to make your sales goal? All of a sudden they call me to say, oh my God, you'll never believe it. An old client called me and wants to book, 3-month session with me. They didn't do anything different. They didn't market. They didn't do anything different, but they were changing their energy, and it happens. So when you do your affirmation, invoke the feelings, and also pay attention to your I am. I often hear so many people, I am sick, I am tired, I am poor. I heard a pastor say, whatever follows your I am will come looking for you. And so if that's the case, whatever follows your I am will come looking for you. Watch what you attach to that. So start to say the things that you want to call into your life, because what you say, I am, are two powerful words. And I actually get my kids to do an I am affirmation, and we repeat positive affirmations over and over again before bed, because I want them, that beautiful thing to come after their I am, to come for them. And I can give you the link, Stacey, if you want. It's a 1.5 minute affirmation, because after that, their attention span goes out the window. But it's short, and they can actually start to say I am and start to program their mind for more positive thoughts. And finally, be consistent. Be consistent, because consistent repetition will start to change how you see yourself, will start to change the way you believe about yourself, the stories you create around money, around friendship, around what you can do, your abilities, and anything that you take on. And it all starts with having that mindset. So affirmation is a great thing. And the last thing, I'm not sure if we have time, I would love for somebody to give me an affirmation based on stating it in the present tense, using positive wording, and provoking a feeling of possibility. If somebody, just in the last question, if anybody can just type in an affirmation that they can create.
What's your affirmation? I used to sit Michaela in front of the mirror.
Oh, mirror work. Beautiful.
We always used to say a certain affirmation, right? So what was yours?
What is it? I can hear.
I am pretty, I am smart, I am kind, and I will change the world. Perfect.
And you're stating it in the present moment, like it's happening now. And that is a perfect way to word your affirmation. And you will be surprised the opportunities, the situation that you just think that it's almost like a miracle, like it's a magnet, but it's because that's what you're focused on. That's what you're thinking. That's what you're calling in, right? You're not focused on what could go wrong, but you're calling it in. And you say it, as you speak, your word is your wand, meaning your word is what, biggity buggity boot, whatever you want to happen, the power is in your words and it's in your thoughts. So beautiful. And I love that affirmation. So that is all I have for you today. So I don't know if I have any other questions or. You're so amazing. Thank you. Oh my God.
Let me see in the chat. Is there any questions in the chat? Madeline, we got your name.
Oh, I am able because I'm capable. Yes, 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 Paulette.
Yes. Oh, Paulette, that's a good one. I am because I am capable. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Let me see. Is there anything else? Is there any questions for Miss Uchi today? Any other questions? Oh, Mickey, you have a question.
A question, but it's something we did to that school that's the same thing as this. So basically, at school when I was in my friend's class, my teacher in the whole class, right? We were talking.
Yeah.
We were talking about why you shouldn't be scared to like not talk, like not participate.
Oh, yes. Don't be scared to participate.
Yeah, and people that can help you with your homework and stuff, right? And kind to people and people who trust you and have time for you, and why you should let your voice out.
Let your voice be heard, right?
Yeah, your voice matters. Your voice is important, and if you keep your voice stifled, we will never. I think every single person here, whoever stayed on, I had to go off. But every single person here have a gift and you have a voice. Out of 7+ billion people on the planet, the gift that you have, nobody else has it. So if you have your voice stifled, you are depriving the world of the gift that you were born to give the world. So this is where that is very important. Use your voice because nobody else can have the same voice and the gift that was given to you. So it's your work to really share it and impact other people in a big way with those gifts.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. That was amazing. I think it was a lot for the kids to ingest, but I think once they watch it back on YouTube, so don't forget, kids, that every single KiddieNomics session is recorded and we post it on our YouTube channel, our KiddieNomics YouTube channel. So please, I highly encourage you to go back and watch this video, especially with your family and friends, because this is one that can maybe help change somebody else's life, not just yours, right?
Like somebody has thoughts in their head
and somebody has negative thoughts.
Yeah, and has depression.
Right, and has depression and things like that. So Joel says thank you. Paulette says thank you. Thank you very much. So I'm going to ask you to stop sharing your screen, so I'll do the wrap up. We're going to
Sounds good.
Thank you so much. You can stay on. Okay, Bianca wants to know how quickly will this be posted. I'll have it up by 8 p.m. tonight, okay? So by 8 tonight, you'll see this video posted and you can watch it back. And like I said, I highly encourage, this is a great one for the entire family to watch. So let me share my screen to do the wrap up
or you can
really quickly.
Or you can just watch the video tomorrow.
Or you can watch it tomorrow, but they want to watch it tonight. All right, so last question. What would happen if kids became more financially literate? And our answer is
real change that impacts the world.
Real change that impacts the world. And why do we say this? It's because, listen, the more financially literate that you become in all aspects, the better that you'll be able to make better choices and just more educated choices that will positively affect you in the long run. And you'll have a healthy relationship towards finances. And that won't be something that will hold you back, so that maybe you're going to be the next person to cure cancer, but you need to go to school to be able to become a doctor, right? You maybe be able to come up with the next Facebook or whatever it is, right? But we don't want finances to hold you back from achieving your goal. So that's why we think that financial literacy will help change the world. Okay? All right, so upcoming schedule really quickly. Next week, we have Billie Jane. She will be back, Miss Billie Jane. She was on KiddieNomics a few months ago. She did the savings and RESP videos. So if you go back to our YouTube channel, our KiddieNomics YouTube channel, you can watch those ones. So Miss Billie Jane is coming back on to talk about insurance for kids. And I know you probably have no idea what that is, so don't worry. But insurance is one of the core financial literacy things that you do need to know about to understand financial literacy to have a positive effect in your long run. So there's insurance will be a really good one for you guys to at least know about. So we're going to have insurance for kids. And then Miss Jane will be back on October, sorry, it's October 2nd, not October 5th. So Friday, October 2nd will be Miss Jane, and she's going to do interview preparation for kids. So we did, if you guys recall a few months ago, we did resume writing for kids. You remember that one? Yes. So Miss Jane did resume writing for kids. So now we're going to talk about, well, hey, you sent in the resume that you created, and the employer called you back and said, hey, we want you to come in and do an interview. Well, what do you do, right? Do you know how to do an interview? We're going to talk about that with Miss Jane on October 2nd. So not October 5th, sorry, wrong date, October 2nd. It's always on a Friday at 5 p.m. That will be coming up. All right, last but not least, listen, we want to hear from you. Our goal is to create tiny financial literacy ambassadors around the globe, right? Because listen, financial literacy, it doesn't matter what country you're in. We have kids watching from India and Brazil and America and all over Canada and the Caribbean, right? So it doesn't matter what country you are in, but we want everybody to become tiny financial literacy ambassadors, because guess what? You're not only going to help yourselves, but you're going to help your friends, your family, and your community, right? And that's what we want from you. So I want to hear more ideas. Like, I want to know, what else do you want to learn about? I had one parent tell me that their child wants to write a book. So we're going to host a financial literacy one about book writing and how to launch your own book. So we're going to have that one on KiddieNomics, and I'll have that one on in probably, well, I can't give you a date. So in a couple of months, I will have that one on. But if you have any more, please let me know. And how do you let me know? Send me an email, kiddienomics101@gmail.com, or please follow and like us on any of our social media handles, which is Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and of course, our YouTube channel. Use the hashtags KiddieNomics or Ask KiddieNomics. But that's it for today. Thank you, Miss Uchechi. You did amazing.
Thanks for having me. It was fun. You guys rock.
It is one of those life-changing ones that I believe that when the kids watch this one back, this is one that they're going to remember for a very long time. So thank you for coming on KiddieNomics. We truly appreciate it. Thank you to all the kids that joined today. Thank you for all the kids that will join next week, and we'll see you next week. So, bye! Okay, I gotta stop the screen. Stop.